So in our one day one answer initiative, today's topic will be regional air connectivity, and it is also one of the most important topics in your economy also, because it is related with the current affair part, and questions have been asked in your prelims and mains examination from this topic also. So we'll be studying this topic in detail, and we'll be following our same measure, that is in a question form we'll be discussing this topic, such as what is regional air connectivity? When did this regional air connectivity gain prominence in India? When? Is there any specific year or something? Then, which are the areas or where is regional air connectivity being focused? Where? Then we'll be discussing why is this regional air connectivity that much important for us and the government. Why is this important? Next question, who will benefit from this connectivity program? And last question will be how? How does this regional air connectivity works? The mechanism behind it. So we'll be discussing this topic in the form of questions. So our first question regarding the definition of what is regional air connectivity, that it refers to the establishment or enhancement of the air travel connectivity, and we'll be improving our infrastructure, we'll be improving our services in the smaller town areas, smaller cities areas, where we see there is no bigger airport or international airport is not available, and also in the remote areas. So our basic agenda will be in this part to connect the regional hubs and metropolitan areas such as your Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru with these smaller cities. So we have to connect the bigger cities with the smaller cities, and this will lead to economic development and greater accessibility and faster we can say travel time and improvement in the tourism also. So we'll be writing connecting smaller towns with metropolitan cities. Next question, when did this regional air connectivity program gain prominence in India? So it gained prominence due to scheme that was called UDAAN, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. In roughly around 2016-17, this scheme was started by the government under the National Civil Aviation Policy. National Civil Aviation Policy. We made the scheme UDAAN to enhance the regional air connectivity program and also to make the air travel affordable and accessible for the common citizen. That's why the name is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. Aam Nagrik is common man, common citizen, and common citizen is not having that much amount of money. He's roughly, if we talk about his pocket, he can only spend roughly around 2,000 or 2,500 rupees at max if there is some urgency. So that's why we want to make it accessible and affordable. Also, we'll be making more number of airport in the underserved regions and unserved regions. So we'll be making small airports over those regions, and we'll be calling them as no frill airports, where no major services or bigger services are provided. A small airport is there. We'll not be comparing it with the big international airport or small airport to cater the needs of the people. Then our next question is, where is this regional air connectivity focused? Which areas we are going to focus? So, regions where we see data limited or no connectivity, no connectivity is there. Those areas will be focusing. Northeast India will be focusing. Remote areas, underserved or unserved regions, Himalayan states, yeah, Himalayan region will be focusing. Smaller cities, tier 2 and tier 3. So these cities will be focusing. such as your Jaisalmer, Kanpur, Tejpur, Porbandar. So we'll be trying to connect the remote areas, Himalayan states, and also our island states with the rest of the India or with the larger cities such as Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai. Our next question that is saying, why is this regional air connectivity that much important? Why is it important? So, a lot number of factors are there, such as economic growth is there, economic growth of that region because now it is connected. So faster transportation of the passengers and also the cargo and also the products will be there. So it will lead to economic growth of that region. So it will benefit the trade, it will benefit the tourism part, it will benefit the industrial industries also. So small cities will get more amount of money. Then accessibility will be there at the small regions, remote areas, island states. They will be able to connect with the national economy. Accessibility will be there. Then next point we can write is balanced regional development. And tourism will be there. So local tourism will get boost because now the things are connected. Earlier, if you have to travel via the train or via the road transport, it will roughly take around 7 to 8 hours or 10 hours. With the air connectivity, we can reach that place in 1 hour. So it will help in reducing the rural-urban divide, or it will also promote the smaller regions also. It will also give boost to the local tourism because now more number of people will be easily able to reach these places. Suppose you have to reach to Shimla, Kulu Manali, or the places beyond. We see there is not availability of the railway infrastructure. And if we go by the road, it will take roughly around 10 to 12 hours. If there is air connectivity, we can easily from Delhi to Shimla region or Kulu Manali region, we can easily reach there in 1 hour. So it will also reduce the congestion on the road also. So these will be the benefit. Next, who benefits from these regional air connectivity? Which are the segments or categories that are going to get benefit? First is local population. Local population will get benefit. Trade, business part, better access to services, job and markets will be there. Then tourist, we have recently seen one example. Tourists will be able to reach at places and they will be able to enjoy those places rather than wasting time in the traveling part 10 to 12 hours. They will be enjoying those places. Then businesses and government. It will give boost to businesses as more tourists will be spending time on that region. So they will be spending money. So it will give boost to the business part. And also the government will also going to get benefit because it will be helpful in achieving sustainable development goals and also the development of smaller regions or regional development will be there. Then our next question, how does this regional air connectivity work? So we have already seen that government under National Civil Aviation Program has made a scheme called as UDAAN. And under this UDAAN scheme, government will be helping the airline companies. They will be helping via viability gap funding. And in this part, government will be giving some rebates, tax discounts, subsidies to the airline companies so that they are able to reduce the price of airfare, air tickets in such smaller remote regions. And government will be giving promotion to the airlines so that they can operate their flights at the major cities also and at such regional routes also. And such regional routes are definitely not commercially viable or that much benefiting to the business part. That's why its government is giving subsidies and incentives. And also government will be improving the airport infrastructure also, providing security also. So if we talk about the route allocation part in this part, airlines have to bid for the cities like many companies will be ready to work in regions such as Chandigarh region, Lucknow region, but at other regions they might not prefer. So those cities that are quite good or smaller cities, lot number of companies will be bidding for it. So bidding culture is there, and also 50% of the seats are capped at a subsidized rate, at a lesser rate or a reduced rate, so that middle class is able to afford such prices. Then, if we talk about some data and facts related to this part, that if you have to write the mains answer, what should be the data and facts? You can write that if you talk about the UDAAN flights, roughly around as of 2023, 450 routes have been operationalized under the UDAAN schemes and more than 70 airports. So more than we can say 450 routes are there under the UDAAN scheme and more than 70 airports have been operationalized under this scheme. Then we can talk about the passenger growth, and it has seen roughly around more than 20% increase in the air traffic due to improvement in the regional connectivity part. Then if we talk about the airport development, more than 100 underserved and unserved airports are being planned by the government for the year 2026. That by 2026 we'll be able to complete such projects. Then the challenges are also there regarding this air regional connectivity, such as financial viability is not there. It smaller routes are there and not that much traffic, and the passengers are not paying that much fare. So that is again a big problem for the airlines companies also. If the flight is going back end, it will be a big loss. Then infrastructure issues are there. How the government will be able to develop so many more than 100 airports in a short span of time, that is a big problem. And along with airports, you have to make runway also, terminals also, maintenance facilities are also there, who will be taking care of all such things. So that will be again a big problem for the government. Then aircraft shortages are there. As the traffic is increasing, for such regional connectivity, we require smaller aircraft, that is having a seating of 40 to 50 passengers only, not big aircraft. Smaller aircrafts are there. So there is shortage of such aircrafts in India. Low passenger demand is there because people still feel that it is quite easy to purchase railway tickets or road tickets or go via road infrastructure part rather than the trains part. That is again a big problem. High operating cost is there. Despite subsidies, we see operation cost is there, fuel prices are there, maintenance charges are there. That's why companies are still feeling that such places are not viable. After the challenges, there has to be some reforms. So let us discuss the reforms part. In reform part, you can talk about expansion to aircraft should be there, and more number of flights should be there, and reduction in the prices should be there, so that people can easily purchase the air tickets also, and it should be quite almost equal to the railway fare. So people will try to switch to airlines rather than going towards the railway part. Subsidy revisions should be there. Government should give better subsidies to the airlines as they are facing the losses part due to this scheme. And also, government should promote the FDI also, foreign investment in these sectors. Promotion to tourism will be there. If regional connectivities are improved, it will give boost to the local tourism, local artifacts, local monuments, local infrastructure also. Public-private partnership model should be followed in terms of developing the infrastructure part. Government should give funds and the private companies will be making the infrastructure. And finally, we can talk about integrating it with the rural and railway infrastructure. At nearby railway station, we should make these airlines. If those people who have missed their trains, they can easily purchase the air tickets also. Then you can also talk about Udan scheme, पूरे देश का आम नागरिक. A scheme was launched. Latest update we must write regarding this scheme, that the scheme was launched under the National Civil Aviation Policy, and in this part we have to connect the underserved and the unserved airports across the country. Then we can talk about the affordability of these schemes, that the air fares are capped at a certain price, or they should be 50% of the seats should be reserved for the common man at a price capped at 2,500 rupees. Then viability gap funding point we can write regarding the UDAN scheme, that to cover the losses, government will be giving the funds to the airline companies. Public-private partnership model is being followed to improve the infrastructure at the airport part. Then also focus on under the UDAN scheme, focuses also on the remote areas such as Jammu Kashmir, Andaman and Nicobar Island, Lakshadweep Island. Then we see till now UDAN 5.0 is being going on. So in UDAN 1.0, we can talk about that 70 airports were operationalized under UDAN 1.0. So 70 airports were operationalized, including 36 new ones. Under UDAN 2.0, we see 73 under reserved airports and unserved airports along with helipads were connected. Then the next 3.2 UDAN, government introduced the seaplanes and also tourism focused routes were also made by the government. Under 4.0 UDAN 4.0, government prioritized the remote areas and gave approval to roughly around 78 to 80 airports. Then UDAN 5.0, that is the recent one, we see more number of helipad made in government is made in the regions of remote areas. So operational routes and airports, if we talk about, since its starting, we see more than 500 routes have been made and 70 airport, 9 helipads, 2 water air domes, and it has catered roughly around 1.3 crore passengers from this scheme. So under UDAN 5.0, government is targeting 1,000 routes and 220 airports by 2026. So it will boost the local tourism, it will boost the air, we can say air travel, and also it will lead to development in the infrastructure part, development of airport parts, and also it will help in social integration. We'll be able to connect the northeast region, the island states, and the remote regions. So now let us see our question of UPSC mains examination. And in this question it was asked, what is the need for expanding the regional air connectivity in India? And in this context, discuss the government UDAN scheme and its achievement. So you have to talk about regarding the question demand. It is asking about expanding regional air connectivity that you have to discuss. This will be the first part. So you roughly have to talk about 6 to 7 points regarding this. And second point, it is saying on the next page, you have to discuss the government UDAN schemes. You have to tell about its feature and its achievement. So there are 3 parts in this, not 2 parts that you have to take care. Then you have to discuss the UDAN scheme and the achievement. You can also talk about how we can enhance the regional air connectivity and how it will lead to economic growth. Okay. Then in the introduction part, you can give some data regarding the regional air connectivity, because defining regional air connectivity will not give you better marks. If you talk about the data, it will definitely give you better marks. Then you can talk about why there is a need for expanding regional air connectivity. For this part, you can talk about economic growth. So if small cities are able to contribute more in the GDP, definitely our GDP will increase. It will help in, we can say, attracting the investment in the smaller regions and the remote areas also. So that will definitely give boost to the local economy. Then tourism development will be there. Local tourist places, hotspots will be developed in an efficient manner. Better services will be there over such a region, like reading, writing, washrooms facility, sleeping facility. All such facilities will be available in remote areas also. Then better accessibility to services in remote areas such as education and health. Now the doctors and the teachers will be easily able to travel to long distances within a span of 1 hour. So that will be quite beneficial for such areas. Regional development can be there because now lot number of businesses will be arriving. So it will also give boost to the employment also. Now doing businesses or sending goods and services to such places will become quite viable in nature. Then on the next page you can talk about the UDAAN scheme, and we have already discussed the UDAAN scheme. Okay. So you can talk about 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 and 4.0 and 5.0. Then you can also, in the introduction part, you can talk about the objectives of the UDAAN scheme. Then subsidy mechanism you can talk about, that government is giving subsidy to the airplane companies, and government is also providing viability gap funding, subsidy through viability gap funding part to the airline companies. And also the price for 50% of the seats have been capped at roughly around 2500 rupees. Even if you there is a surge in the railway fare, the normal tickets roughly sometimes cost about 1800 to 2000 rupees. So it is much better you get 500 rupees and travel and also save time. Then we can talk about network expansion will be there, and reach again infrastructure development via the PPP model. Also give some examples of the airport that have been developed under this UDAAN scheme. Then we can talk about the achievement of the UDAAN schemes regarding the flight operations achievement. Flight operations, how many flights are going, how many routes government has made, how many things are in progress. You can talk about increase in air travel or increase in passengers. You can give some data regarding this. Economic impact is there, that it has given boost to the local economy, local tourism, and it has also connected lot number of areas. And job development is there because it has boosted the local economy. More number of air hostesses, pilots, and in the manufacturing part, those who are able, those companies that are providing parts for the airplanes, their business will also grow. So aviation and related sectors will get a boost due to such schemes and also provide livelihood in such areas. Then you can finally conclude in a positive and optimistic way that with this initiative we see there is boost in the boost of tourism and boost in the development and in business in the regional areas, underserved and unserved areas, remote areas, Himalayan states and the northeast state. So this is how you have to write this answer. Thank you everyone.